I would like to tell you about a very special series of files I am creating. I call this series Male Seduction. You should know that there are some very enjoyable, very erotic files to be found in my collection that will be extremely enjoyable for girls who like to be hypnotized. But this file is for boys who like to be hypnotized, who want to surrender all control and just follow along with my very special instructions. What kind of instructions, you wonder? Well, that part will be up to me. I have decided to make the first file in this very special series available to you for free. And if you listen all the way to the end of this little sample from my Male Seduction series, I'm going to tell you how to get this first file for free. But you have to listen to the end. And don't just skip to the end to get your free copy of my file. You have to learn to follow my instructions. Can you do that for me, boy? You'll be glad you did. Now, are you ready, boy? Now maybe you've been listening to me read from the book of Hypnosis. This file is also about a book, but not that book, no. There's another little book that I found in a dime store. You know, one of those places that sell secondhand things. Things people have left behind. It's a very plain looking book with no picture on the cover. It caught my attention mainly because of the title. The Element of Control. Tricks and Techniques of the Dominant Female. Of course I picked it up. What really surprised me was this book was written by a woman all the way back in the 1950s. Can you believe it? All the way back then. There were women who were already well practiced at the art of using their feminine power to sexually control and to dominate helpless males. Their husbands, maybe their bosses, who knows who they would choose to make their victims. Well, of course I had to buy that old book, $2.50. And now I plan to put some of the teachings from that book to use by reading it to you and exposing you to the powerful lessons that any man can be taught at the feet of a powerful woman who knows all the tricks and techniques. And if you find that you like the sound of that, keep listening, and I'll read you from the book. The Element of Control. Evil Tricks of the Dominant Female. Lesson 1. Men love to masturbate. They all do. They can't help it. And they are easily made weak to the control that masturbation holds over them, over their body, and also over their mind. Well, I think everyone knows that. Just what is it about you boys and all that masturbation? You just don't even seem to ever stop yourself. Now do you? But how is it that you boys are so helpless, so unable to stop yourself once you get that itch, the need to touch, the need to please yourself. Once that little notion gets up inside your head, you know it's coming for you, and it's only going to grow and grow and grow until you give up and just simply give in to it. You give in to an endless circle of pleasure and obedience, arousal and denial that will very soon take hold of you. You won't escape because that itch will soon call to you. The need to do it just builds and builds. And you just know that soon you will become powerless to resist. Won't you, boy? You'll give in. Masturbation masters you, doesn't it, boy? And of course, you can try to resist. If you want, try to hold out. But the more you try, the harder it gets. And it gets so much harder, doesn't it? Yes, it does. And the harder it gets, the more you have to think about it, the more you need to think about it, constantly thinking of all that pleasure and how you just can't resist it, how you know that you're always going to give in to it in the end. And if it were only up to you, you just can't help it. Too weak to stop, unable to wait. Maybe what you really need, boy, is for someone else to take control of all of that for you. Yes. Maybe that's what you need. You know that of course women are so much stronger than you. Stronger-willed, more disciplined, better able to decide for you. Deep inside, you know it's true. Women are so much better at controlling things, being responsible for the discipline. It's only natural after all. So why not let a woman take away that little problem, your lack of control, your weakness for pleasure? Just let someone else take care of all of that for you. Because when you're being supervised by someone else, some way, they just take all the same control, don't they? Yes, the very same control, the very same hold that masturbation has over you. And it's gonna feel so good. That's right. It's just like if someone were to open a back door into your mind. Imagine that. An opening left there in your mind for a dominant female to get all the way inside. Someone who knows all the tricks of mind control. Now, who do you know like that, boy? And even though you could be the most strong-willed, resistant, self-confident, bad boy, cocksure of yourself, an alpha male, and yet, the moment someone starts stroking that special itch of yours, you just crumble, you melt, melting into a puddle of horny desire. You just submit to all that warm pleasure. You know what I mean. Yes, you know that feeling very well, don't you, boy? You just give up. You give in. You melt, weak, to whoever is that has taken control of your pleasure. You know I'm right. When your pleasure center is being stroked, you no longer have control. All your thoughts, all your ideas, all your opinions just disappear. They vanish. All gone, replaced by the desire, the need to do whatever you need to do to get over the line, over the edge, whatever you need to get to that special place. That's all you can think of when you're being stroked, teased, dangled on the edge, edged, manipulated. You have only one thing on your mind right then, one desire, one purpose, and that is to do whatever it takes to get yourself over that edge, and everything else just disappears. Everything else just dissolves. All your attention on that little problem of yours. You can't think of anything else. You can't think at all. You can only obey the urgent need that's building in your core. You can only focus on the part of you that is being controlled, completely controlled by me. And you will do anything I tell you to do. You're not really hypnotized, and yet you do seem so very eager to follow my commands, don't you, boy? So very obedient and eager to please, focused on my voice, waiting on my words. You're waiting on my words right now, aren't you, boy? Waiting for my instructions. Well, I suppose you've been very good, letting me read to you from my book, taking it all in, letting the suggestions float right past your thinking conscious mind, letting them sink in. Well, you're in luck today, boy. I'm going to play a little game with you now. When you followed my instructions so obediently, just like you were hypnotized, entranced, mesmerized, hypnotized, out of trance, and yet somehow still responding so well and instinctively obeying every command. Your subconscious can notice how easily you respond to all my commands and suggestions. It remembers how good it feels when you obey. Your mind is learning to feel pleasure when you obey. Conditioned and programmed to want to obey, to feel all this pleasure, and this will only make it easier for me to hypnotize you. And soon, your mind will no longer know any difference at all, whether you are in trance or out. It will want to obey for the pleasure you feel when you please your mistress. And you have pleased me because you listened all the way to the end of this file, and because you were a good boy, because you followed my suggestion. I'm going to offer you a reward or a temptation. You can choose which one it feels like. I'm going to let you have the full-length, fully interactive version of this file, the first file in my Male Seduction sequence. I want you to have this file, so I'm going to let you get it for free. That's right, my little gift to you. Would you like that? Does the thought excite you? I thought so. You already showed all the signs of someone who can be so responsive, so ready for my hypnotic control. Are you ready to get the full-length hypnotic male seduction conditioning file? Just follow the link I've left you in the description below the video. Go on then. Do exactly as I told you. You can do that now, can't you?